You don't need to do anything right now, not a single thing. Whatever the day held, whatever it required of you, it is already receding, the way a tide recedes, slowly and without drama, leaving behind only a flat and quiet shore. You are allowed to let it go, all of it. Let your body remember what it is like to simply be still. If you haven't already, find the position that will carry you through. Adjust whatever needs adjusting, a pillow, a blanket, the angle of your shoulders against what is soft beneath you. There is no hurry. There is absolutely no hurry. Let your jaw loosen. Let the space behind your eyes go smooth. Let your hands rest where they want to rest, palms open or curled. It doesn't matter. They have done enough for today. Take one slow breath in through your nose and let it out even more slowly through your mouth, like something long held is finally being set down. Good. And another, softer this time, in and out. You don't need to force the breathing. Just let it find its own rhythm, the rhythm it already knows. I want to take you somewhere tonight, somewhere that has been waiting for you, patiently, as everything in this place waits patiently, for as long as you have needed to arrive. It is not a complicated journey. You do not need to pack anything. You do not need to prepare. All you need to do is let the sound of this voice be the path your mind follows, gently, step by step, into a place where nothing moves too quickly and nothing is ever asked of you that you cannot give. Let your eyelids grow a little heavier now. Let your breathing slow just a little more. And follow me. There is a road, if you can call it a road, that runs across the high plateau like a pale ribbon pressed into the earth by centuries of quiet use. It is a road made of compressed pale clay and thin grass and time. The grasses on either side of it stand at knee height and higher, dry now in the late season, and when the wind moves across them, which it does in long, slow waves like the surface of water seen from a great distance, they make a sound, a papery sound, a soft, continuous whispering, as if the plateau itself is reading something to itself, something very old and very peaceful, over and over in the dark. The sky above the plateau is the deep, unhurried blue of a sky that has finished with the sun and has not yet committed to stars. You can see the stars beginning, though, low on the horizon first, as they always begin, faint and tentative, and the air that touches your face is cool without being cold, carrying with it the clean mineral quality of high places, a faint trace of dust, a faint trace of dryness, the smell of a landscape that breathes very slowly and holds its breath between gusts. You are walking the pale road. Your footsteps are quiet on the packed earth. There is no urgency in your pace, none at all. Your legs move at the pace the road seems to want for them, the pace the plateau sets, which is unhurried, which is deliberate, which is the pace of something that knows exactly where it is going and finds no reason to rush the arrival. The grasses hiss and settle, hiss and settle. The sky deepens, and then, ahead of you on the road, not far, just far enough that it has the quality of a thing arriving rather than a thing already reached, you see the Waystation. It is made of stone, as everything here is made of stone, because stone is what the plateau offers, and the plateau offers what it has without apology. The walls are the same pale clay gray as the road, as the dry earth, as the dust that films the long grasses, so that the Waystation seems less like a building placed on the plateau and more like a building that emerged from it, grew slowly upward over many seasons the way something patient grows. The roof is low and broad. The shutters on either side of the wide front windows are wooden, old and weathered silver gray, and even now, from this distance, you can hear them. A low, settling creak, barely audible over the grass sound, the sound of wood contracting in the cooling night air, the sound of a building breathing in and breathing out, There's a soft glow from the windows, not bright. Nothing here is bright. But warm, unmistakably warm, the color of something between amber and honey, a living, shifting sort of light that does not hold still the way a lamp holds still, that moves the way a flame moves, the way the surface of still water moves when something very small and very gentle passes across it. You reach the door. It is wide and low and made of the same silver-gray wood as the shutters, worn smooth at the handle by many seasons of the same hand resting there, your hand now. You press your palm flat against the wood for a moment before you open it. The wood is cool and smooth under your palm, and you can feel the faint grain of it through your skin, the long, slow lines of years. You open the door. The air inside the Waystation is warm, not stifling, not pressing, but warm in the way that a room is warm when it has been quietly inhabited, when it holds the accumulated patience of hours. And with the warmth comes the scent. You breathe it in before you see anything clearly. This scent that seems to come from everywhere at once, that seems to be the scent of the room itself, the scent the room exhales. It is the faint, honeyed sweetness of dried apricot, not sharp, not sweet like sugar, but mellow and soft and a little golden, the way dried fruit is golden, the way late afternoon light is golden, and underneath it, or woven through it, something cooler, something mineral, the smell of rain on stone, clean and old and deeply familiar in the way that things are familiar when you have known them longer than memory. It takes your eyes a moment to adjust to the room's particular quality of light, not because it is dark, but because the light is alive, because it moves. And then you see them. The moths are not here yet, not all of them, but a few have arrived early, the way some always arrive early, and they rest on the near wall, against wide panels of silk that have been hung from ceiling to floor, floor-length panels of ivory silk, half a dozen of them, spaced along the stone walls at intervals like pages in a book held open. The silk is so fine it moves with the air, just barely, a slow and liquid motion, and the moths that have settled on it already, 3 of them, 4 near the base of one panel, are the reason for the light. Their wings hold it. Each moth is large as your open hand, palm to fingertip, and when the wings are spread and still, which they are now, perfectly still, perfectly resting, they catch and hold and emit a light from within that is the color of clear amber, the color of the inside of a lantern seen from outside, warm and dimensional and quietly extraordinary. The bioluminescent dust that coats the wing surfaces collects the dark and returns it as light, not bright light, not light that dazzles, but light with depth to it, light that seems to come from just behind the wing's surface rather than from the surface itself, as if the wing is a window into a room where a warm fire is burning in the next room over. The dust drifts, just barely. Each wing, when the moth breathes, and you can see now that they do breathe, each wing lifting and settling in the slowest possible rhythm, once every many seconds, releases into the air the faintest trace of that luminescent dust, and the dust catches in the room's warm air currents and drifts, and the air itself seems to glow, softly, diffusely, as though the whole room has been breathed upon by something ancient and gentle and full of light. You set down what you have been carrying, the bag, the coat, whatever it was, and you take in the room fully now. The space is single and long, low-ceilinged, with rough-hewn wooden beams overhead that hold the ceiling's weight with the ease of things that have been doing so for a very long time. The floor is flagstone, worn and smooth and cool, each stone fitted to the next with the close, patient precision of hands that had nowhere else to be. The silk panels hang from iron hooks in the beams, each panel wide enough to accommodate many moths. Dozens, will come, and between the panels the stone lit by the moths already resting and by a row of small oil lanterns on a low stone shelf that runs the length of the far wall. And the lanterns are ceramic, round-bellied and simple, with wide wicks trimmed very low so the flames are barely there but steady, giving off a light so soft it seems more like the idea of light than light itself. There's a long wooden table near the center of the room, and on it, a wide ledger lying open, its pages thick and cream-colored, a broad-nibbed pen resting in a shallow clay dish, a glass jar of dark ink, a row of shallow ceramic trays, wide and low, the color of old cream, their rims smooth and cool to the touch, each one filled with a pale liquid that catches the amber glow and holds it like a very still pool. The liquid in the trays is the sugar water solution, mixed this morning in the cool of early light, mixed with care in the proportions the Waystation's long tradition calls for, and it gives off the same scent you noticed on entering, the apricot warmth, the rain on stone underneath, deepened now that you are close to it, richer now, hovering over the trays like a warmth above warmed things. And on a hook near the door, hanging from a loop of worn cord, a small brush, the horsehair brush, its handle smooth pale wood, its bristles gathered into a fine point at one end, soft enough to touch without pressure, soft enough to rest against a moth's wing edge without waking the wing. You know what to do. You have always known. You are the dresser, and this is your work, and your work is the most quiet and careful work there is, to receive the moths, to tend to what they need, to record what the night tells you through them, and to be present for their rest with the same quality of attention they give the world, patient, unhurried, without any trace of urgency. You lift the horsehair brush from its hook. You hold it lightly, loosely, just the way you hold it. The handle is warm now from the room's warmth, smooth and dry against your fingers. You turn it once in your palm, feeling the familiar weight of it, and then you begin. The first silk panel from the door is the one already occupied, 4 moths resting near its lower edge, wings spread and glowing, perfectly still. You move to it slowly, the way the room requires you to move slowly, the way the moths themselves would have you move slowly. Your footsteps on the flagstone are quiet, just a soft, barely audible press. The moths do not startle. They know you in the way that everything in this place knows you, not by your face or your name, but by the quality of your attention, by the pace you keep, by the particular way your presence fits the room without disturbing it. You crouch a little, bringing your eyes level with the lower moths. Their wings are extraordinary up close. The amber light is deepest at the base of the wing, near the body, a warm, concentrated amber, almost orange at the very center, and it diffuses outward toward the edges, softening through gold, through pale gold, into a kind of luminous cream at the outermost margin. The wing surface is covered in scales too fine to distinguish individually, and it is in these scales that the bioluminescent dust lives, that it catches what light exists in the room and breathes it back out transformed. You raise the horsehair brush, very lightly, barely touching, just the outermost tip of the gathered bristles. You draw it along the lower edge of the nearest wing. The wing is warm. You can feel the warmth from it even before the brush touches the edge. A low, gentle warmth, the warmth of a living thing in rest. And when the bristles make contact, it is the softest possible sensation, less pressure than the fall of a single hair onto still water. The moth does not stir. Its wing breathes in, breathes out in its slow and measured way. You note what you have felt. The wing edge is intact, smooth, unbroken, the scales undisturbed. This is what the ledger will record, the condition of each wing, the particular hue of the dust at the hour of arrival, and at each interval through the night as the amber deepens gradually toward violet, the number of moths in each position on each panel. The ledger is not a scientific document, not precisely. It is more like a record of attendance, a log of presence, a way of saying, you were here and you were seen, and the seeing was careful. You move to the table. You take up the pen, thick-nibbed, easy in the hand, the way a pen is easy when it is the right pen for the right paper, and you dip it, and you begin to write in the ledger. The scratch of the nib on the thick paper is a sound you feel as much as hear, a low, dry sound, a sound of substance being recorded, of one thing being made to say something true about another thing. The paper takes the ink well, with a slight give, and the words you write are small and careful, and they trail across the page in a line as even as the horizon line of the plateau itself. You write, arrival hour, 4 early moths, first panel, wing condition hole, amber dominant, edges cream, dust light, ambient. You set the pen down. Outside, the wind moves through the grasses. You hear it against the shutters first, the low gathering pressure of a slow gust building, and then through the shutters, muffled and softened by the stone and wood, the papery hiss of 10,000 grass stems moving together, that continuous long sound, neither loud nor entirely quiet, a sound that has no beginning and no end within itself, a sound you could follow with your attention for a very long time without finding an edge to it. And then the gust passes, and there is the deep plateau silence between gusts, a silence that is not empty but full, a silence that has weight and texture, that sits in the room alongside you like a patient companion. And then the grasses again, a little quieter now, a little farther away, subsiding. You check the sugar water trays. You move to the stone shelf where the ceramic trays are arranged in a row, each tray wide enough to accommodate a large moth resting flat, filled to a depth of perhaps 2 fingers with the pale liquid. You lift the rim of the nearest tray between your fingertips. The ceramic is smooth and cool, the exact pleasant cool of a smooth stone held in the hand, a cool that does not chill but grounds, that tells your skin exactly where the tray is and what it is, and that everything is in order. You run your fingertips along the rim, checking for any roughness, any chip, nothing. The trays are whole and calm. You lean over the nearest tray and breathe in. The scent rises to meet you, that layered, mellow warmth, the apricot sweetness that is never too sweet, always soft, always more like a memory of sweetness than sweetness itself, and beneath it the clean, cool note of rain-wet stone, and beneath that something harder to name, something older, something that might be the plateau itself translated into scent, dust and mineral and dried grass and deep cold sky, all of it held together in the gentle warmth above the tray's surface. You exhale slowly. Everything is in order. The moths come as the night deepens. They come in the way the Waystation's tradition has taught you to expect, not in a flock, not in any rushed or teeming way, but in ones and twos and very occasionally threes, each moth arriving at the high, narrow vent windows above the silk panels, hovering for a moment in the vent's opening. You can see them there, briefly, wings fanning slowly, amber lit and trembling against the night-dark rectangle of the vent, hovering the way a word hovers before it is spoken, and then descending slowly in long descending spirals toward the silk panels below. The spiral descent of a lantern moth is one of the most gradual things you have ever watched. It is unhurried in a way that other things only approach, a spiral that takes many seconds to complete each turn, each wing beat slow and considered, the moth turning as if on a very long, very gentle helix of air, the amber light from the wings sweeping in slow arcs through the Waystation's interior as it descends, painting the silk panels and the stone walls and the low ceiling with moving amber shadows shadows that glide and overlap and separate again over and over, each one slightly different from the last. You stand still when a moth descends. That is the custom, the unwritten rule the Waystation holds. When a moth is descending, you are still. Your breath slows, your hands rest. You watch. The moth reaches the panel, its legs, 6, fine as dried grass stems, the same amber-lit color as the wing base. Find the silk and hold it, and the wings slow, and then the wings settle open and wide and still, and the amber light stabilizes into the steady, breathing glow of a moth at rest. And then the room is a little brighter than it was before, just a little, by exactly one moth. You take up the brush, you move to the panel, you crouch and observe and gently, so gently, draw the bristle tip along the new arrival's outer wing edge. Whole, intact, the scales fine and dense and luminous. You note the amber, deep at the body, fading to pale gold at the margin. You return to the table and you write in the ledger. The pen scratches, the ink settles, and then there is silence, and the hiss of the grasses outside, and the low creak of the wooden shutters settling in their frames, and the barely perceptible warmth that is beginning to build in the room now, not from the lanterns, their flames are too low for that, but from the moths themselves, from the collective warmth of their resting bodies, a warmth that is barely there and unmistakable. More moths arrive. Over the course of what might be an hour or what might be longer, time in the Waystation does not keep the same account as time outside. The vent windows fill and empty, one moth at a time, hovering and descending, spiraling down through the warm amber air, finding the silk, settling, stilling, glowing. The second panel begins to fill, then the third. You move between panels with the brush, unhurried and thorough, crouching, observing, touching the wing edge with the softest possible pressure, rising, returning to the table, writing. The ledger's pages accumulate their careful, even-spaced notation. Your handwriting is the same across all of it, unhurried, legible, the pen held loosely and moved slowly across the thick pages. The scent of the room changes as the moths accumulate. The sugar water trays have been placed near each panel now, one tray per panel, set on the cool flagstone at the panel's foot so that moths descending the last stretch of their spiral find the tray's surface waiting, find the pale liquid and its apricot and rainstone warmth rising up to meet them. Some moths rest on the tray rims for a while before moving to the silk. You have seen this before, in earlier seasons, the way a few of the early arrivals prefer the cool, smooth ceramic rim to the silk for their first resting minutes, the way they hold the ceramic with all 6 fine legs, and spread their wings to the room and breathe slowly, amber glowing, dust drifting from the wing edges into the air above the tray. The dust meets the tray's rising scent, and the two things mingle in the air, and the room smells now of apricot and rainstone, and something sweeter, something drier and finer, the dry, dusty sweetness of the moth-wing dust itself, not quite a flower scent, not quite a mineral scent, something entirely its own, something that belongs to no other place in the world but this room, at this hour, on this night. You breathe it in. Every time you pass through the middle of the room, you breathe it in. It has become as familiar as your own breathing, the layered warmth of it, the sweetness that is never cloying, the mineral note beneath. You hold it for a moment before you exhale. There is a moth that arrives later than the others. You have noticed this in previous seasons, that there is always one who comes later. You have no name for this moth, because the Waystation does not name the moths, only counts them, records their wing condition and their glow color and their position on the panels, gently and carefully, without the presumption of naming. but you have noticed this one, the latecomer, each season. Tonight the latecomer appears in the vent above the 5th panel, just as the room's light has reached its fullest amber. The room is now warm with the glow of many wings, the ceiling and walls and floor all holding amber reflections, all trembling slightly with the collective slow breathing of many moths, and the air is thick with that scent and with a barely there warmth that you can feel on the backs of your hands as you hold them still. The latecomer hovers in the vent opening for a longer time than the others, just hovering, wings fanning slowly, the amber light of its wings filling the small rectangle of the vent with a concentrated warm glow, as if it is considering something, as if it is taking the room's measure before descending. You stand still, you wait, you breathe. The moth descends, and its spiral is even slower than the others, the most gradual descent you have seen tonight, each wing beat carrying it down just barely, each turn of the helix long and wide so that it passes close to the 4th panel, close to the ceiling, close to the hanging edge of the 3rd panel's silk, amber light moving across each surface as it passes, and you hold your breath and watch, not with urgency, nothing here is urgent, but with the quiet attention of someone watching something very good, something worth watching all the way through. The moth finds the 5th panel, its legs settle onto the silk, its wings spread wide and settle and go still. And the glow from this moth, you notice it immediately, is just slightly different from the others. The amber is deeper at the body. The margin is not cream, but faintly lavender, just at the outermost edge. The first suggestion of violet, earlier than usual, this moth already beginning its long, slow color shift from amber toward the pale violet that all the moths will reach by deepest night. You reach for the brush, you move to the 5th panel. You crouch, you observe the wings, the depth of amber at the thorax, the warm gold spreading outward, and there at the very edge of each wing, barely visible, barely there, a suggestion of a cooler tone, not yet lavender, not quite violet, just the departure from gold, just the first movement in a very long gradient that the night will slowly complete. You draw the brush tip along the outer edge of the right wing. The bristles are so light, the moth does not stir. Whole, you note, whole and fine, the scales dense and perfect. You rise and you return to the table and you take up the pen. You write, late arrival, 5th panel, upper center, wing condition whole, exceptional, amber deep, margin initiating violet shift, note, early transition. You set the pen down. You look at what you have written. The ink is settling into the paper's grain with that slight gleam that fresh ink has, that slow move from shine to matte, from wet to dry, from the moment of writing to the record. You sit for a while at the table. There is no task immediately requiring your attention. All 6 panels are receiving moths now, and the moths are settling steadily. You will count them properly in the next interval. You will move through the room with the brush and the ledger, but for now you simply sit at the table and let the room be around you. The shutters creak. A long, low, familiar creak, the wood contracting further in the night's deepening cold outside, the stone of the walls holding their patient warmth against the cold, the warm room sealed and gentle against the plateau dark. The creak fades and there is silence, and then the grasses again. A long gust out on the plateau, longer than the others, the papery hiss rising and then holding at a kind of sustained soft tone, and then slowly releasing, the gust passing over the Waystation's roof, the grasses bending and straightening and hissing their continuous papery sound, and then settling into stillness. You breathe. The room breathes too, in the only way a room can, which is through the breathing of what it holds. The moths breathe. their wings lifting and settling in their slow, slow rhythm. The lantern flames breathe, the wicks holding their tiny, barely there flames with a patient constancy that is its own kind of breathing. The silk panels breathe, moving in the air currents that the warmth of moths creates, gentle and liquid and slow. All of it together makes a rhythm, a very quiet collective rhythm, a rhythm that asks nothing of you but your presence in it, your willingness to be part of it, to breathe with it, to let your own breathing find the pace the room has set. And you do. You let your breathing slow to meet it. In, slowly, out, slowly, in, out. After a while, you are not sure how long. The room does not insist on that kind of accounting. You rise and you take up the brush again, and you make your slow round of the panels, moving from the first to the second to the third and so on, unhurried and thorough, the way you have always moved through this room, the way the room asks you to move. The first panel now holds 11 moths. You crouch and count them with your eyes, some near the base, some midway up, one near the very top of the panel where the silk meets the iron hook, this one small and still and glowing with particular brightness, as though the extra altitude suits it. You check several wing edges, the brush barely touching, the wings not stirring, and every wing you check is whole. You note the amber. It is still mostly amber on this panel, though a few of the moths who arrived earliest are beginning to show the same slight cooling at the wing margins that you noted in the latecomer. The first suggestion of the slow color shift, the amber beginning to give way at the edges to something cooler, something softer, something leaning toward violet. The second panel holds 14. Several moths here are clustered near one another, wings almost touching, and where wings overlap just barely, where one moth's margin rests barely against another's, the combined glow is subtly brighter, a warm pooling of amber where two sources of light come together, not blended but layered, each still distinct, both together making something the room feels as a comfortable warmth. The barely there warmth radiating from the panel as a whole is perceptible now as you crouch close. You can feel it on your face, the gentlest possible emanation, like standing near a window where the sun has been falling all afternoon, all that absorbed warmth releasing very slowly into the evening air. You make your notes. The pen scratches in the ledger. You write the counts, the conditions, the color observations. You write them in the same careful, unhurried hand, the pen moving across the thick paper without urgency, the words settling into the page with the inevitability of water finding its level. The third panel, 16 moths here, the most of any panel so far tonight. They are spread evenly across the full width of the silk, which sways just barely with their accumulated weight. A slow, almost imperceptible sway. The amber light from this panel is the room's brightest source. All those wings together make something that is almost warm enough to cast soft shadows, and you can see your own hand casting the faintest, most tenuous of shadows on the silk as you raise the brush. You check wing edges, all whole, all fine, the scales undisturbed, the dust fine and present. Several moths on this panel are showing a more advanced violet development at the margins, lavender now, unmistakably, a gentle blue-tinted purple at the outermost edge of the wing, softening toward the body's amber. The gradient of a single wing, you have always thought, is one of the most beautiful progressions visible to the eye, from that deep concentrated amber at the thorax, through warm gold, through pale gold, through cream, through the most delicate lavender, to the faint violet of the margin. It is like a very slow sunset contained within a single wing. You note it. Wing color, amber dominant, margins advancing lavender violet in earliest arrivals. You write it down and set the pen in the clay dish and look at the third panel for a long moment, simply looking, simply present. You continue to the fourth panel and the fifth, where your latecomer still glows, wings still spread, the lavender at its margins perhaps slightly more pronounced now than when it arrived, the color shift continuing its patient work, and the sixth panel, which is the farthest from the door and the closest to the stone back wall, where the room is slightly cooler and slightly quieter, where the plateau wind is hardest to hear. The sixth panel holds 9 moths, fewer than the others, and they are quieter here, even by moth standards, which is very quiet, and their amber glow is slightly softer, slightly more diffuse, as if the cool of the back wall is already encouraging in them the same slow cooling into violet that the whole room will eventually reach. One moth on this panel, low, near the base of the silk, has wings that have shifted considerably. The amber at the body is still present, still warm, but the gold has cooled to the palest possible amber, barely gold, and the outer 2/3 of the wing is now a clear, soft lavender that is deepening toward a true pale violet as you watch. You raise the brush and check its wing edges with the utmost care. This is an advanced stage, a deepening of the night shift, and you approach it with the same patient attention you bring to every stage, not rushing, not hurrying your observation. The wing edge is whole, perfect, the scales fine and unbroken. The dust at this stage has a slightly different quality, still sweet, still that dry, fine sweetness, but cooler now. The warmth of the amber stage beginning to pass out of it, the scent of the dust from this wing, something lighter, something that has traveled further through the night toward wherever moth wing dust goes after amber. You write in the ledger, 6th panel, moth 9, wing condition whole, advanced violet shift, body amber remaining, outer wing pale to mid-violet, notable early progression, beautiful. You do not always write that last word in the ledger, but tonight you write it, and the pen does not question it. You make the long, slow walk back to the table. Your footsteps on the flagstone are soft and familiar, a sound the room knows, a sound the moths do not stir at, and you settle into the chair at the table and you sit for a while in the middle of it all, in the middle of the room and its gathered warmth and its accumulated glow, in the middle of the amber to violet light that the walls and ceiling are now holding, the stone itself seeming to have absorbed some of the moth's warmth and to be giving it back gently, quietly, the way stone gives back warmth, slowly, with no sense of performance, simply releasing what it has held. The room is amber still, amber mostly, but the violet is arriving. You can see it in the changing quality of the light, the way the shadows are shifting from warm-toned to cool-toned, the way the stone walls are holding a slightly different hue than they held an hour ago. Amber suggests warmth, suggests honey and late light and the last of a fire. Violet suggests depth, suggests the moments just before sleep, the color behind closed eyelids, the color of something wide and old and patient and restful. The room is moving through this shift the way the moths move through it, slowly, without announcement, without drama, the change being simply what is happening, the same way breathing is simply what is happening, the same way the night deepening outside is simply what is happening. You trim the lantern wicks. You do this midway through the night, in the interval between the amber and the violet, when the moth's light is strongest and the oil lanterns can be reduced further, their flames brought down even lower so that what light the room holds is almost entirely the moth's own light, alive and breathing and diffuse and warm. You take the small trimming scissors from the clay dish and you move to the first lantern on the stone shelf. The flame is already very low, barely a small warm coin of light above the wick, but you can see that the wick's tip has begun to char very slightly at its edge, a tiny imperfection, a tiny source of smokiness that would be barely noticeable, but that might, in the long still hours, disturb the air quality that the moths prefer. You pinch the wick between the scissors blades with a precise, unhurried movement, and the small dark tip of char falls away into the lantern's reservoir, and the flame for a moment dips and then finds itself again, burning now even more cleanly, even more quietly, a small steady warmth that is nearly invisible. You move to the second lantern, then the third. There are 9 lanterns on the shelf, and you tend each one in turn, moving along the shelf with the scissors held loosely, trimming each wick with the same deliberate care, letting each flame find itself again before you move to the next. The shelf is cool stone beneath your hand as you steady yourself, and the ceramic of each lantern is smooth and slightly warm from its own flame, and the small repeated task has the quality of a meditation, the same gesture 9 times, each time slightly different in the particular trimming needed, but each time the same quality of attention, the same unhurried hand. When you reach the 9th lantern, you set the scissors in the plate dish, and you stand for a moment at the end of the shelf and look down the length of the room. What you see in this moment is something you will write about in the ledger, but only barely, because the ledger is not built for what you see in this moment. The room is full of moths. All 6 panels are heavily occupied now. You estimate 60, perhaps 70 moths in total, the silk panels bowed very gently under their weight, the silk moving with the slow collective breathing of the moths, and the light. The light has shifted. It is still partly amber. The newest arrivals, the middle panel moths, are still deep in amber, but the earliest arrivals, the moths on the first panel and the 6th and the latecomer on the 5th, are now predominantly lavender, a soft, clear, deep lavender that has only a memory of amber at the thorax, and a few of the most advanced moths are showing the first true violet, pale and cool and wide, a violet the color of the inside of a shell or the sky 1 minute after sunset, a violet that does not insist on itself but simply is. And all of it together, all the amber and the gold and the lavender and the pale violet, all the individual wings breathing in all the individual slow rhythms, all the dust drifting in the air, all the silk moving, all the warmth gathered and radiating from the panels, all the low oil flames steady on the shelf, all of it together makes a light that has no single color. It is amber and violet simultaneously. It is warm and cool at the same time. It is the light of things in transition, of things slowly becoming the next thing they will be, and it fills the waystation from flagstone floor to wooden beamed ceiling with a quality you feel as much as see, a quality you breathe in and hold and release, that the room breathes in and holds and releases, that the plateau holds beyond the shuttered windows and the hissing grasses in whatever way a plateau holds a thing. You return to the table. You write in the ledger, 3rd interval, all panels occupied, estimated 72 moths, light transitioning, mixed amber and advancing violet, room warm, all wings intact as checked, the air very still. You pause with the pen above the paper. You add one more line. The room is very beautiful. You set the pen down. You sit in the chair at the table and you breathe in the apricot and rainstone scent and the dry sweet dust scent and the warm stone scent, and you let the mixed amber violet light rest on your hands and your arms and your face. It is warm on your face, not bright, not in the least bright, but warm, a warmth like the warmth of being regarded by something patient and old and benign. A warmth that asks nothing of you and offers only itself, freely in all directions, to the stone and the silk and the old wooden beams and to you. Sometime after this, after a long while of sitting, of breathing, of watching the light slowly deepen its violet, you prepare the evening small meal. The Waystation keeps a simple larder in the alcove off the main room, a ceramic jar of honey, a cloth-wrapped loaf of dense-seeded bread, a crockery pot of preserved fruit, plums, dark and sweet in their own liquid, a clay pitcher of water, cool from the stone shelf it rests on. You lift the pitcher, the ceramic smooth and cool against your palm, the same cool and smooth as the sugar water tray rims, the same cool and smooth as the flagstone floor under your feet, that consistent mineral cool that the Waystation maintains in all its surfaces except the panels where the moths rest, which are warm. You cut the bread slowly. The knife is unhurried through the loaf's dense crumb, and the loaf gives way without resistance, and the smell of it is simple and good, toasted grain, seeds, a faint sweetness from whatever was added to the dough in its making. You spread a little honey, the honey from the ceramic jar, pale gold in the way the early moth's wing margins are pale gold, and thick in the way of cold honey, moving slowly from the spoon to the bread. You take the small dish of preserved plums, you sit at the table with these things, bread and honey and the dark fruit and the cool water in a clay cup, and you eat slowly, the way everything in this room is done slowly. The honey is mild and floral and very sweet in a clean, uncomplicated way. The bread is dense and satisfying, each bite complete in itself, nothing wanting. The plums are soft and dark, and their sweetness has the depth of time in it, the time of summer and of the slow process of preservation, of sugar and stone crocks and patience. The water from the clay cup is cool and almost tasteless and exactly right. You eat without hurry. The moths glow on their panels. The lanterns hold their low, steady flames. The room's warm violet and amber light rests over everything, over the table and the ledger and the shallow ceramic trays and the bread and the honey and your hands and the clay cup. Outside, the grasses hiss in a long, slow gust, and the gust passes, and there is the deep silence of the plateau between breaths, and then the grasses again, quieter this time, more distant, as if the wind is finding its rest too, settling into the grass beds of the plateau for the night. You finish the bread, you take a last, slow sip of water. You set the clay cup down on the table with a quiet, definitive sound. After the meal, there is a final round of the panels to be made, the last complete observation of the night before the room is left fully to the moths for their deep hours. You take the brush and the ledger to the first panel. The moths here are deep in violet now, not just lavender, but a true, clear, pale violet, soft as the underside of a cloud at dusk, and the light from these wings is the coolest and calmest light in the room, a light that asks nothing, that is simply present, that breathes. You check the wing edges, the brush barely touching, the bristles whispering against silk as you angle the brush tip past the resting wings, and every edge is whole, and you note this, and you feel what you always feel in this noting, a deep and wordless satisfaction, the satisfaction of careful work confirmed, of attention rewarded by the thing attended. Second panel, third. The light is deeper violet across all the early panels now, the amber receding to the newest arrivals, those in the center panels still warm and golden, the room holding all of it simultaneously, that extraordinary mixed glow. You move slowly, your footsteps barely audible. The moth warmth from the panels brushes your face as you lean close, less warm than earlier, the warmth cooling as the amber cools, the violet's gentler temperature arriving with the color, everything consistent, everything continuous, the night doing what the night does in this room, what it has always done. Aim, 4th panel, 5th panel, 6th. The latecomer on the 5th panel is now predominantly violet, the amber at its thorax just a faint warmth, and its wings, spread wide, utterly still, breathing their slow breath, are the color of the deepest part of the hour before sleep, a color that does not insist on being seen but cannot help being beautiful. You hold the brush near its margin. You do not need to touch it this time. You can see from here that all is well, that the wing is whole and fine, that the dust drifts from its edges in that cool, clean, violet stage sweetness. You lower the brush. You stand at the 5th panel for a long moment, the brush loose in your hand, and you simply look at the latecomer. Its wings breathe, very slowly, in, out. The pale violet light from its wings rests on your face and your hands and the silk. You breathe with it, in, out. You return to the table. You make the last entries in the ledger. Final round, all panels, all wings intact, color, predominantly violet throughout, late amber and newest arrivals, and you write the time of the entry in the margin, as you always do, and you close the ledger. The covers come together with a soft, certain sound. The thick pages press against each other. The night's record is complete. You set the pen in the clay dish. You set the brush on the table beside the ledger. The room is almost entirely violet now. The newest moths, the last few arrivals, the ones who came in the room's latest hours, still carry some amber, a warm gold at their thoraxes, a warm glow that reads orange gold against the surrounding violet of the more advanced moths. But the room's overall light has made its long, slow, patient crossing from amber to violet, and what the walls and ceiling hold now is a pale, diffuse, cool, warm violet, a color that has the quality of depth to it, the quality of distance, the quality of the sky seen through still water, the quality of a sound heard from another room, soft and present and completely unhurried. The silk panels glow with it, the stone walls hold it, the flagstone floor reflects it in its worn, smooth surface, a faint, cool shimmer on stone that has been here for centuries and will be here long after tonight. The beams overhead are touched with it, the old wood grain visible in the violet light, every line and whorl and knot made clear and quiet by a light that does not bleach but reveals. The room smells of apricot and rainstone and the dry, sweet violet stage dust, and the honey you left on the table, and the cool mineral of the stone walls, and the slight sweetness of the oil burning low in the lanterns, and underneath all of it, beneath all the individual scents, holding them together the way the flagstone holds the room, the deep, clean, barely perceptible scent of the plateau itself, coming through the stone, coming through the old wood of the shutters with their low nighttime creak, coming through the vent windows that the moths used to enter, the plateau with its dry grasses and its mineral dust and its cold sky and its ancient patient silence. You dim the lanterns, one by one, moving along the shelf from the first lantern to the ninth. You turn each flame down to the lowest possible point, and one by one the small warm coin lights of the lantern wicks are reduced to the most minimal possible presence, not extinguished, not entirely, because the Waystation does not leave itself fully dark while moths are resting in case one more arrives in the deepest night, but reduced to the faintest imaginable presence, a glow barely brighter than nothing, a warmth barely warmer than the surrounding stone. And with each lantern dimmed, the moth's light becomes more apparent, more singular, more entirely itself. The room's only real illumination now is the violet glow of 72 resting wings, breathing in their slow collective rhythm, painting the whole interior of the Waystation in that cool, alive, beautiful pale violet that is the color the moths become as they sleep. You take the last dim lantern in your hand, the ninth, the one nearest the door, and you carry it with you as you make your way toward the deep chair in the corner of the room, the low chair with its cushions worn soft by many seasons of use, the chair that is yours for the remaining hours of the night, the chair from which the whole room can be seen. You set the lantern on the stone ledge beside the chair. It barely glows, just a presence, just a warmth, and you lower yourself into the chair, and the cushions receive you, and you breathe out. The room breathes around you. The moths breathe. 72 moths, 72 pairs of wings, rising and falling in their individual rhythms, not synchronized, each following its own slow beat, and together they make a breathing that is like the breathing of the room itself, that is the breathing of the room itself, slow and various and continuous, each individual breath contributing to the whole never the same as it was a moment before, always slightly different, always essentially the same. The violet light trembles, very slightly, always. The dust drifts. You let your eyes rest on the nearest panel, the second panel, which is the one directly across from your chair, the one most fully in your view. 14 moths on this panel, each in their particular position, each with wings spread wide and still. The violet light from them is soft on your face. You can feel it on your closed eyelids if you let your eyes close, which they want to, which they are doing, slowly, the way a moth's wings settle. The cool, smooth weight of the ceramic tray rim is in your memory now, not in your hands, which rest open in your lap, but in your memory, the memory of touch, the memory of cool, smooth ceramic under fingertips, grounding and real and simply there. The papery hiss of the grasses is very quiet now, outside, the wind having found its rest in the deep night hours, only an occasional whisper remaining, a long soft hiss that rises and dies and rises again. The ledger is closed on the table, the pen is in the clay dish, the brush rests beside the ledger, the work is complete, you let your breathing go, let it do what it knows how to do, in through your nose, slow and effortless, out through your mouth, even slower, like a long, soft sigh that carries with it the last wakefulness, the last small, tight things, the last of whatever needed releasing. The violet light rests on you. The moths breathe. Amber at the thorax of the newest ones, still a warm glow in the room's cool violet, warmth within coolness, light within depth, their wings rising, settling, rising again, imperceptibly slowly, and settling. The shutters creak once, a long, low, easy creak, wood settling into the night with no resistance, no urgency, simply settling. And then quiet. The apricot and rainstone scent from the nearest tray drifts to you where you sit. You breathe it in. That sweetness, that mineral cool, that scent of a place that has been prepared with care, that has received its guests, that holds everything now in its warm violet glow. The dust in the air, the fine, dry, sweet dust from 72 violet wings, drifting in the still air of the Waystation, settling very slowly toward the flagstone floor, catching the violet light as it drifts and glinting in it softly, each particle a small, brief point of light. The silk panels barely moving, the moths barely breathing, the room barely glowing. You are barely here, and that is right. That is exactly right. Your breathing is slower than it was a moment ago, slower. Each breath long and full and easy, and the exhale longer than the inhale, and the pause between them, the still, deep, plateau-wide pause between the exhale and the next inhale. That pause is where you are. In that pause, in that deep quiet, the grasses, very far away now, a whisper, the violet light, still there, warm and cool at once, on your closed eyelids, the scent, apricot, stone, something sweet and dry. The moths know how to do this, they have always known. They come to the Waystation year after year, following the same ancient route across the high plateau, finding the vent windows, descending in their long, slow spirals to the silk, and they rest. They rest in the amber of their arrival, and the amber becomes violet over the long hours of the night, and the violet deepens, and they rest in that too, and they do not hurry any part of it, and they trust the silk to hold them, and they trust the room to be warm, and they trust the dresser to tend to them while they sleep. You trust the room will hold you. The violet light will be here when you are not watching it. The grasses will hiss on the plateau, and the shutters will creak in the night air, and the moths will breathe, and the ledger will hold what you wrote in it, and the tray will hold its apricot scent, and the silk will hold the moths, and the stone will hold the room, and the plateau will hold the stone, and the night will hold the plateau, and all of it will go on quietly while you sleep. Just the breathing now, just the violet, just the faint, dry sweetness of the dust on the air, and the deep plateau silence between breaths, the moths resting, you resting, the night resting. The violet deepens, very slowly. You are here, and you are still, and the room is warm, and the moths are sleeping, and everything is quiet. Rest now, rest.